Welcome to the first CAA edition of the Towson Men's Lacrosse Report. I'm your host, Spiro Marikas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Sean Nadlin. And Coach, the Tigers finished up this portion of the non-conference schedule. You have a game with Loyola in a few weeks, but now you're basically all CAA all the way. You go to Texas to take on Virginia, a team that was ranked very highly early in the season. You're leading 4-3 at halftime, but then in the second half, the offense couldn't quite get in gear. Was there anything Virginia was doing in the second half as opposed to the first half?
No, we just, we went cold. Went cold shooting. Their goalie played well. I thought he made some. He was just eating the ball really well. We didn't shoot great. We missed the cage quite a bit. But the ones we put on cage, I felt like he was, I said at one point, I think in the fourth quarter, it's just like it probably looks like a beach ball to him. He was moving so well and just like solid at the ball. But we got to do a better job, shooting as we've had our woes there kind of all season. So there really wasn't anything that Virginia specifically done. It was just us not capitalizing on opportunities.
What was the experience like, you think, for your players to go down to Texas, play somewhere that I'm sure most, if not all of them, had never played before?
Yeah, it was a really neat experience. The school that it was at did a great job hosting both teams. Great crowd, great atmosphere all around. So people were into it. They can tell they're into lacrosse down there. We had quite a few alums show up to the game, so it was good to see them there to support us. So I think our players enjoyed the experience. Obviously, wanted to earn a win. But overall, with a flight and figuring out the logistics and navigating all that, I think it was a good experience for them overall.
What do you take away from this non-conference schedule? I know the record is not what you want it to be, but what do you take as you get ready to go into CAA play?
Well, we got to continue to put the work in, which you always have to do. But again, we're still kind of figuring out what works best for us with certain lineups and being able to run different systems. So again, figuring out how that helps us be maybe more successful at finishing opportunities off, whether it be making saves and stops or putting the ball in the back of the net and everything in between. So again, we're still obviously in a big kind of evaluation piece, which mid-season you're not typically in, but we want to be able to get into a groove and really start finding our way here.
One positive from the Virginia game, Matt Constantinides had probably his best game of the year.
He played pretty well. Yeah, I thought our wings did a good job as well. So as a unit, I thought they did a good job. It was great to see Matt after not doing well at UMBC and Kai Lopez really stepping in and taking the reins there, for Matt to just settle down, go out and have a solid game for not only for himself and his own confidence, but obviously the impact that it allowed us as a team, with the possessions and kept us in the fight, possession-wise against Virginia.
With the face-off man, is confidence maybe more important for them than any other position on the field?
It's hard to say. As far as any other position, I think as a player you have to have that confidence. It's imperative, and you get that confidence through your preparation and your work. And Matt works very hard. I work with the face-off guys, specifically, and I get to see the work that they put in every day, and he cares and everything. So it was tough as a coach to see him, not being able to perform the way that he knows he's capable and we know. But it was great to see him just kind of settle down, settle in, and again come away with a pretty solid day for himself.
Well, this week you open up in the CAA against Delaware, and your face-off men are going to have their hands full because O.J. Morris has won 49 of 66 face-offs. As a team, they're almost 65% on face-off wins, so you guys are going to have your hands full there.
Yeah, they're a strong group. They're a little bit of a two-headed monster. They run two guys very consistently, very good at battling, very good at controlling the ball out. Guys that we've seen kind of in the past. So Matt should have some experience with these guys. But yeah, we're going to, as a unit, face-off wise, obviously going to be prepared and ready to go at it.
Well, it's interesting that you're opening up with Delaware, because 2 years ago they knocked you out of the CAA tournament, and then last year you knocked them out of the CAA tournament and became champions. How do you compare this Blue Hen team to the last couple?
Some new faces, definitely some new faces, kind of around the field offensively and defensively. So guys that are getting their first licks of really starting roles, but they're not true freshmen. They got some older guys in the mix, as well as having some experienced guys in there. So they're good. They're solid. I think they're similar to us in that they're still trying to kind of find their consistency a little bit with some playmaking, and they've had a very tough schedule as well, similar to ours. So again, record-wise and those types of things don't really, at this point, I know from our perspective, records really don't matter. It's a brand new season. It's a CAA, and you go into it and be able to know your opponent, pretty intimately, and know what it takes to hopefully win.
Can you tell the difference in your players that this is a first week of conference play, that maybe they got a little more hitch in their get along?
Yeah, I mean, they're battling. They're able to understand that, hey, this is again a new season, and that it's the toughest part of our regular season is conference play, and that you have to be that much sharper. Understand that the competitiveness is going to be that much higher, and the intensity and everything. So having the wherewithal, the poise, as well as the the playmaking and competitiveness needs to be really dialed in.
All right. Well, the Tigers will take on the Blue Hens, maybe for the final time, as they are leaving to go to the Atlantic 10 in Lacrosse. Glenn Smith and I will have it for you. 3 ways to watch Monumental Sports, Flow TV, and listening on TowsonTigers.com. We'll have it for you at noon. We hope to see you at Johnny Unitas Stadium. So, for the head coach of the Tigers, Sean Nadlin, I'm Spiro Marikas. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Tiger Men's Lacrosse Report.